All right, let's dive in. Today, we're digging into the pretty wild strategy of Dengo, an ethical Brazilian chocolate maker. They're taking their unique rainforest-born identity and planting a flag right in the middle of the luxury desert landscape of the United Arab Emirates.
So right off the bat, you've got this fascinating puzzle, right? On the surface, a rainforest brand and a desert market, it seems like a total clash of worlds. But as you're about to see, this is a seriously calculated move built on a deep understanding of brand, market, and mission. So how in the world are they going to pull this off? Let's break it down.
Okay, first things first. To even begin to understand Dengo's global ambition, you have to get what makes Dengo, well, Dengo. Because everything about their identity is their secret weapon, their competitive advantage.
At the very core of it all is this thing called the bean-to-bar model. Now, this isn't just a fancy term for how they make chocolate. It's a whole philosophy. It means Dengo controls the entire shebang, from the actual cocoa farms in Brazil all the way to the final chocolate bar you buy in their store. This gives them absolute total command over quality, ethics, and maybe most importantly, the story they get to tell.
And this is where it all comes together. These four pillars are what make the brand so incredibly powerful. I mean, they're not just buying any old beans, they pay their producers way above market rates, which earn them a B Corp certification. That's a big deal. Everything, and I mean everything, comes from the Brazilian Atlantic forest, giving their chocolate a real sense of place, a terroir. They use low-sugar recipes so the cocoa's actual flavor can be the star. And this is the kicker. Dengo doesn't just make chocolate in Brazil, it tells the story of Brazil. Every product, every store is a cultural experience.
All right, so if we lay it all out in a classic SWOT analysis, the picture becomes super clear. Their strengths, that ethical sourcing, that total control, tap right into a growing market of people who care. But, and here's the flip side, that control comes at a cost. It's expensive, and it makes it hard to scale up quickly. The opportunities, though, they're huge, especially with luxury partnerships. But the threats are just as real. You've got intense competition and, of course, the ever-present risk of climate change messing with their very specific supply chain.
Okay, so Dengo has this super strong, authentic identity, right? The next big question is, where do you take it? You can't just go anywhere. You need a market where this unique story isn't just going to survive, but absolutely crush it. This choice was everything.
So they did their homework. They ran a big global analysis, looking at all the political, economic, and social factors. And the Middle East popped up as a hotspot, with the UAE right at the top. And why the UAE? Well, it's kind of the perfect storm for a brand like Dengo. You've got a massive, mature luxury market with tons of purchasing power. Plus, you have this growing wave of consumers who actually care about ethics and where their products come from. Throw in world-class logistics and stability, and you've got yourself the perfect launchpad. And this brings us to what is, honestly, the single most critical decision in this whole plan. They picked the right country, sure, but how do they actually enter it? This is the real make-or-break moment. Get this wrong, and the whole thing could just fall apart. Yeah, this quote right here just nails it. In a market as demanding and sophisticated as the UAE, your brand's integrity is all you have. There's just no room for error. None. For Dengo, all these promises about ethics and quality, that's not just marketing fluff, it's their entire reason for being. You mess with that, even a little bit, and it's game over. So they basically had three ways to play this. They could do a joint venture, right? Team up with a local partner. But the problem is, you immediately start to lose control. You have to compromise. Or they could acquire another company. It's faster, but then you're stuck with a culture and a brand that isn't yours. Which is why this third option stands out so much. A wholly owned subsidiary, building their own thing from the ground up, is the only way to keep a death grip on every single detail of the brand, the experience, everything. So yeah, when you look at it that way, the choice was a no-brainer. 100% owned subsidiary was the only option that didn't involve compromise. It was the only way to protect their most valuable asset, their identity, their brand DNA. It means a bigger investment up front for sure, but in the long run, it's way, way less risky for the brand itself. All right, so they've figured out how they're going to enter the market. Now they got to figure out the what. What's the actual game plan on the ground in the UAE? How are they going to connect with this new, very sophisticated audience?
First things first, who are you selling to? They're laser-focused on high-income consumers, both Emiratis and expats, mostly in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We're talking about people who don't just have the money to spend, they actually get what Dengo is all about. They care about quality, ethics, and an authentic story. For them, it's not just about buying a chocolate bar. It's about the experience, especially when it comes to high-end gifts.
And that target customer directly shapes their marketing mix. For the product itself, the recipes are staying the same. That's non-negotiable for authenticity, but the packaging is getting a luxury makeover for the local market. For price, they're using what's called a skimming strategy. Basically, you come in hot with a premium price to signal that this is top-shelf stuff and attract those who want the best first. For place, you won't find this everywhere. It's highly selective, starting with a single flagship store in a top-tier location that's more of a brand embassy than a shop. And finally, promotion is all about the experience. Think social media, influencers, and cool in-store events that let people taste and feel the Dengo story for themselves.
But let's be real, no plan is bulletproof. A huge part of this strategy was taking a hard, honest look at the risks they were facing and dreaming up what success could look like down the road.
And wow, the #1 challenge is a big one. On a scale of 1 to 10, the competition in the UAE's luxury chocolate market is a solid 8. That's intense. They're basically jumping into a shark tank with some huge, well-established global brands.
But here's the smart part. The whole strategy is built to handle these exact risks. How do you fight the competition? You don't play their game. You double down on what makes you different. That ethical bean-to-bar story. How do you manage the high costs? You start small, with one store to test the waters. To protect the supply chain, they're leaning on those strong, long-term relationships they've built with producers. And to protect their reputation, well, that goes back to the subsidiary decision. Total control is the ultimate defense.
And believe me, they're not just thinking about one store. The long-term vision here is huge. Soon, they'll look to partner with luxury hotels and create exclusive collections. Then, the UAE isn't the finish line. It's the launch pad for the rest of the Gulf region. Think Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. And way down the line, they can even use this brand platform to introduce other ethical Brazilian products, like specialty coffees. The potential is massive.
So, when you step back and look at it, Dengo's journey from the rainforest to the desert is more than just a smart business move. It's a powerful statement. And it really makes you wonder, right? In a world where consumers care more and more about where their stuff comes from, is this the new blueprint? Is this blend of real, deep-rooted ethics and a premium luxury experience what the future of global brands looks like? Definitely something to think about.